On the day I was born, the nurses all gathered round, and they gazed in wide wonder at the joy they had found. The head nurse spoke up to leave this one alone. She could tell right away that I was bad to the bone, bad to the bone, bad to the bone, bad, 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 bad to the bone. I broke 1,000 hearts before I met you. I'll break 1,000 more, baby, before I am through. I wanna be yours, pretty baby, yours and yours alone. I'm here to tell you, honey, that I'm bad to the bone, bad to the bone, bad, 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 bad to the bone. I make a rich woman beg, and I make a good woman steal. I make an old woman blush.
What is up, everybody? You know, I always start this show off by showing love to those companies that help make this podcast possible. Guys, first is my friends over at Yellow Jacket. I want to really dive in and showcase their Titan Max digital manifold. Guys, the Yellow Jacket Titan Max digital manifold provides the easiest path to system measurements. This 4-valve manifold provides fast and accurate measurements for refrigeration and AC systems. The high-resolution backlit touchscreen display erases the need for multifunction buttons and provides clear graphical and digital measurements. It also features internal data logging, connect via Bluetooth to the HVAC View app or Measure Quick. Guys, and that's what I want to talk about. I keep bringing this up, but I don't know if people see the value as much as it actually is the remote viewing now. I know people offer it. Yellow Jacket did not invent this, but if you have any of the wireless Bluetooth Yellow Jacket tools that communicate to the HVAC View app, whoever does it can send you a link. You can remotely log in and see exactly what they're seeing. Guys, it has been awesome with my technicians. We're now getting them all, these gauges, the ones who don't have them. Some of them have their certain brands, and that's fine. But all of the young guys starting out, especially the ones that need most of the help, we are getting them the Titan Max, and me and my install manager are able to log in with them to be able to see exactly what they're seeing, to be able to help them diagnose problems. Also, for system startup, for verification, my install manager can log in to the person starting up the new piece of equipment and make sure he can see in real time that it is meeting all of the requirements that we want our new systems to meet. It has been working absolutely amazing for us. I highly suggest any of you out there, if you have any of the wireless Bluetooth devices, whether it's the Titan Max, the wireless probes, whatever it may be, and they connect to the HVAC View app, go ahead and check this out. You can email me. More than happy to help you. But if you go down to the bottom of the app, it'll show you how to do it. You can send the link to somebody. They're going to be able to log in and see everything that you have connected. So if you have everything, the psychometrics, the pressures, the temperatures, the gas pressure, static pressure, whatever it may be, they're going to be able to see it and they can help you. And it's extremely, extremely powerful. I am loving every second of it. So guys, go check out my friends over at Yellow Jacket. Remember, I will never, ever tell you what to buy, but if you're going to spend some of that hard-earned money looking for some new tools, all I asked is go give my friends over at Yellow Jacket a look. Remember, now it's up to 78 years of expertise built into every tool. And next, last but not least, is going to be my friends over at Vito Pro Pack, who make the best tool bags in the business. Don't forget about their 2-tier spring promo that goes until May 31st. All right. $170 value. Remember, if you buy any tier 1 product, get a free CB-LD compact technician's tool bag. Obviously, if you're a moron, remember the tools are not included with the picture. Got to read that. It says it in the script. If you get any tier 2 product, a $95 value, get a free MB2B medium zippered meter bag. Once again, tools are not included if you're a dipshit and can't read. Guys, if you're going to go buy yourself a new bag, make sure you go to a reputable dealer. So True Tech, one of those people. If you buy it from a reputable like local supply house, just make sure you go and register your bag and you will be able to qualify. But yeah, go buy a new bag. You guys know they have everything out. They're constantly coming out with new bags. If there's something you can think of, Vito has a product for it. And up until May 31st, which started March 1st, you're going to be able to get one of these bags absolutely for free with their spring promo. All right, guys, remember Vito Pro Pack tool bags that work. Let's get on to the pledge. Let's get on to the show. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless the United States, and thank you to all those men and women who defend it.
Welcome to the #1 rated HVAC podcast. If you're looking to grow in the HVAC industry, then you're in the right spot. Blue collar people talking about blue collar shit. Let's get better together. So turn up the volume, buckle your seatbelt, and let's welcome your host, Gil Cavey Jr.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the HVAC Uncensored Podcast. I'm your host, Gil Cavey Jr. Here we are, another Wednesday, another hump day, and another amazing show for you. First, I'm sorry, getting here flustered. Let me give my shout outs that I always give to everybody. Mr. Nasty, who was the first one in here. Hold on. Let me get this screen off, move things around. I'll feel more comfortable. But Mr. Nasty, what is up? My man Scott, what is up, my brother? Let's see. Jay, what is up, my brother? Good to see you too as well. Make sure I don't miss anyone. Skipping names. Zeke, what is up, buddy? Another brother, Mechanical. What is up, Matt? Thank you for being here, bud. Freon, what's up, buddy? See you're in here. I think I saw Mr. Missing some people. Sammy Andrew, what is up, buddy? What's up, Sammy? If I missed anybody, I'll read it out later. But yeah, man, I got an awesome show for you guys. I know a lot of you guys are technicians, so some of these business ones don't really, get your hump. But there's going to be incredible value. Guys, I've always said this that as I've evolved in my career, I've followed a lot of different people, and there's two people that I can honestly say I can sit here and say, in my heart of hearts that I've taken the most from, and I've actually implemented those things, have been from one being Mr. Tommy Mello and the other one for our guest today, and is going to be Mr. Victor Rancour. So guys, I'm not just going to go ahead and do this. And guys, please put your hands together and welcome our guest, Mr. Victor Rancour.
What's going on, Gil, man? Dude, that intro you got going these days is freaking awesome.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate you being here, man. I know that you're a busy man, so I really appreciate you taking time to be here with me, bro. It's been a minute.
I still remember being a tech when I couldn't afford one of those Vito bags when I started out. I always wanted one of those things too. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to be on here, man. It's I think it's my third time on, and obviously I feel like every time I've been on, it's a whole different phase of my life. So it's been pretty cool.
It's funny you say that because it has been like from the first to the second. I think this might even be, this isn't the third, this is the fourth time. And it's crazy. And now that you bring that up, I guess a lot of people know that you were the owner and founder of Absolute Airflow, who was killing it out in California, which seems like an eternity ago. What are you up to these days, man?
Obviously I sold Absolute Airflow in 2023, so we're coming up on 3 years. In about a month and a half will be 3 years since I sold that business, and since then, after I sold it, it went on a kind of a hiatus for a little bit, and had some fun and hung out on the beach and did all that fun stuff, and then about a couple years ago, I decided to kind of get back into it, but I didn't want to be the main operator anymore. It's too much stress on myself, on the family, all that stuff. Growing a business is no joke, running a business day to day. But I knew I had a lot of value to provide for, from what I've learned. I've been doing this, it was 11 years ago. This March is when I started as a technician, and I've learned a lot along the way. And so actually in May of 2024, one of my clients, he actually came to one of my very first sales training classes I ever hosted. And he's consistently always came to all of our classes. And he came to me, he's like, "Hey dude, like I'm getting ready to sell my business. And this is what they're offering me." I was like, 400 grand. I'm like, "Dude, 400 grand, dude, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Well, I'm just over it. I'm burnt out. I'm tired. I've been doing it for 20 years. I've been a technician. I've been getting my ass kicked in business is, getting my ass kicked in business." And I said, "Look," he was in a tiny little town, right? So we're operating in northern Arizona, 120, 130,000 total people, I think, is in the entire market. So I'm like, "Okay, well," I said, we can make it worth more than 400,000, but I think like if we partner together, we can really grow this thing, and we implement our systems, and all our processes that we run. And he's like, "Look," he's like, "I love you as a brother. You coached me, you trained me." He was, when I met him, he was running 15 calls a day, selling run cap after run cap after run cap, in the summertime, and not making any money. So we had already grown the business to about 2 million. And he said, "Partner with me, let's go grow this thing." And I said, I was kind of nervous, like I was like, "Dude, I've never ran a, I was like, it's easy to build a business in your backyard, right? You
Yeah.
know everybody, you know all these things. Will my systems work in another market?" And I already knew they would, because I've been coaching and training people all over the country. But I'm like, you're putting your name on the line, right? And I don't like to be associated with failure. So I said, "Look, I don't know what we can do. I know we can grow this thing. We can make more money than you've ever made before. I don't know what our market cap is. It's 120,000 people here in the middle of the desert, right?" And so anyway, so we partnered in 2024. That's when I started Rocket Group, and that was our first deal. And obviously it was a learning curve, and there's a lot of stuff you have to implement. And then also getting the right people in a 120,000 person population that actually want to do HVAC, that want to make more money, that want to do the things that need to be done to run a good business. And we grew it really fast. We went from 2 million to 5 million before the end of the year. Last year we did 12.5 million. This year we're pacing for about 23, 24 million in that tiny little market. And we've done some great things, and obviously once I did that, I said, "Okay, perfect." About a year into that, another company in Alabama came and said, "Hey," he flew out to come check out our shop. He's like, "I want you to do that for me in Alabama." I said, "Well, I don't know shit about Alabama, but we'll figure it out." And partnered with him. We grew that to 5 million last year. This year we're pacing about 11.2 or something like that in a small town in Alabama. And so like I'm like, okay, this what we're doing is working, right? And what we've been training on and teaching. And I think that's the hard part about being a coach, is like you coach people, but like they don't have the follow through. It's like now when I'm part of the business, we're following through. We're doing the shit that I say we're gonna do. Like we're gonna do it the right way. And we started growing that business, and then end of last year, like it really took off. We've since October of last year, we've acquired 12 more companies, 11 or 12 more companies in different
Fucking
states all
awesome.
across the country. We're everywhere from freaking Arizona all the way to Delaware now, and it's working and it's growing. So I think, yeah, we got some pretty big goals on that. But it's always started with the technician. It's always started with, how do we get these guys to follow a process, do things the right way, and how do I make my technicians make more money than they can make anywhere else? And that's always our conversation when we go to hire techs.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And you know what? I think it's good, man, because I've been around for a while. It's been years since you've been on. I mean, Christ, it's been what, 5 years or since I came
Yeah,
out to California. Um,
yeah, yeah.
you know what? Yeah, and all these people that, talk shit online, like that stuff only works in California and stuff like that. So that's why I think it's awesome that you're proving that that's horseshit, that you're in everywhere else, and that these systems are still working. And I know, because when I was at Beltway, we did them. They do them. We did them in Maryland, and we did them to a T, and I know that they worked. I remember doing your tune-up process, and nobody else was doing that. When we were pulling heat exchangers and people were like, "What the fuck?" You know what I mean? And nobody else could do it. And it's about staying consistent. Like you always said, like a lot of people learn new stuff. You go to these seminars and it's like, oh man, this is so cool. But okay, do you go home and actually implement it is part of the problem.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, it's human nature, right? Like we always want to take the easy route. Like if I can sell a job without doing a bunch of work and I can sell it at the same rate that I can sell now, fuck yeah, I would do that all day long. Would I do the easy route if I could? But in reality, you'll never make the amount of money I always say the other side of hard work is where the money's at, right? Like you gotta put in the work before you have to put the sweat equity in before you can make the real money. And so some guys, they'll do it for a week or a month and they'll make a bunch of money and then they'll get lazy and they go back and revert and then they fucking never get back to it. And I think that's one thing that I've learned, coaching technicians and sales reps and business owners all over the place is like I have to tell them the same thing over and over. And I know technicians, they come in the morning meetings like, why are they bringing me in for another morning meeting? And I said, look, you have to reset because you guys are busy. I was a technician. I started as a tech. And I know you work, 10, 12, 13, 14. I mean, I remember starting at 7 in the morning, not getting home to my kids till 11 o'clock at night. You're working these long days. And then they say, tomorrow, show up and you need to be in a good mood. You need to perform again. And it's like, it beats you up and wears you down. So, I know like for us, we train a lot with our guys and mostly it's just getting their mindset back to like, hey, I get it. It sucks. Like this is what we signed up for. But if you're going to leave your house, why would you come home with less money than humanly fucking possible? You already going to have to work 12 hours a day, bro, or 10 hours or whatever the schedule might be in the summertime, right? Why not come home with a bunch of money? And that's the kind of conversation we have a lot with our technicians.
Yeah, and I love that because I remember when I was out in California when we got to meet some of your technicians, and not like ones that you set up for us. I mean, like random guys that we could just talk to, and having conversation with them. Like all the guys were like, "I love it. I can, and they're like, I can make ethical money as much as I want." He's like, if I don't make money, it's because I didn't do something, I missed a day or something like that. Like everybody thinks that like you have to be unethical in order to make money in residential, and that's just not true.
It's not even nowhere near close. And I always say we put reputation before revenues. Like at the end of the day, our job is to educate. If you see a problem, you present it, right? I'm not, we're not in there pushing grandma to buy something. We all, even if it's like, dude, if they're over 60 something years old, they're like, dude, we're talking basic. We're not like, I'm not over here robbing and stealing from people, right? Like at the end of the day, we try to fit something that fits in everybody's budget that makes sense for them, right? Like short term and long term, right? But also on top of that, like the process that we run, by the time we're done, they're asking us for a replacement or they're asking us what we should do on the repairs rather than most technicians. They go in there, they're fucking ninjas in the house. The customer never talks to them. Then all of a sudden they sit at the table and you got to replace, hey, you got to replace your capacitor, your fan motor and all this stuff. They never educated on what the fuck they're talking about. And then they expect the customer to say, oh yeah, I'm going to buy that today. No, fuck you, dude. Like, so our process, we bring a customer along with us. We show them, we educate them. Like I always tell my technicians, one of the things we say, Mrs. and Mrs. Smith, before I leave here, I want you to be more educated about your system than ever before. Keep in mind, it's going to take us a little bit extra time on the call, but I want you to know what's going on with your system. Most of the time, we don't find anything, but if we do, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about, and I'll explain to you why it's like that. And so it allows us to really communicate. And obviously, at the end of the day, homeowners do not trust technicians, right? They don't trust you. They don't like you. But if you can show them, prove them, and show your competency and exactly what you're looking at, it's super easy to have that conversation. So you're not pushing and having to sell much.
Yeah, no. Sorry, somebody in the chat was like, who does industrial says, fuck that 15 calls a day. And I was like, yeah, no, normally, you're not running that.
No.
It's going to be quality over quantity.
Dude, that's the guy. My guys run an average 3 to 4 calls a day. Summertime, maybe 5. Obviously, if there's emergency calls, but like what that guy I was talking about, he was a lone soldier, him and one guy, and they didn't know how to upsell or do anything. The only way they knew how to make money was to run as many calls as quickly as they could, so they could sell apart, get it running, sell apart, get it running. That's how they ran their business. They made no money, but like they made enough money to have a house or have like and where they live is a house is 100 grand. So they made their money, made their beer money, and they were good. So when he came to me and I told him, hey, no, screw that, slow down. Let's run 3 to 4 calls a day. Then we hire other guys to run those other 3 to 4 calls, take our time and educate. Now the business grows, right? Dude, and that's most technicians. They're just on a head sprint, trying to get these things, trying to get to as many calls or get through as many calls as they could. And that's how they make their money. But that's just not a way to make money in today's market, especially with the cost of everything. It's crazy.
And we both know it. You're not really taking care of customers that way either. Like you're not, you change the capacitor. Yeah, the system's running, but you didn't look at it. It's going to break again. You missed something. There's no way to run 10, 15 calls in a day and legitimately take care of people. Like, I wouldn't feel good about that. I wouldn't be bragging.
No.
I did 15 calls today because I know I just fucked over 15 people.
Yeah, it's the same thing as the guys that are selling the fucking $7,000 system, but they didn't change any disconnects, whips, pads. Like they're just fucking swapping out. There's no filter rack. Like they just do this shitty ass install, and they charge $7,000. And the other customer's like, "Why are you at 15? You're a ripoff." And I'm like, "Dude, they didn't do even a fucking tenth of the things you're supposed to do to upgrade a system. This is not like fucking changing a box out. Anybody can do that, but at the end of the day, why the fuck would I spend any money to get exactly what I already fucking have? Doesn't make sense to me."
Yeah, and it's funny, one thing that we learned, like, I know here in the Northeast, ductwork's a little different than in, like, California. Like, some of the stuff is not always accessible, but I stuck to it when I offer a system. I have all my consultants offering upgrades. Whatever we can touch, I want to
Yeah.
offer to upgrade. Whatever it may be. Even if we have to throw in a duct cleaning, and I said, do it on every single job. And that's increased, like, I would say sales by probably like 4 or 5 grand because, more people are saying yes to being like, I know you can't see this, but I want you to replace all that you can see. We're offering what we can do.
Yeah, at the end of the day, no one will ever buy anything you don't recommend, right? And I know some of the guys on here, they don't like sales techs and all this shit. Like at the end of the day, I always say, like, dude, if I went to the doctor today for a fucking checkup, right? I walk in there to the doctor for a checkup, and I go in there, he checks my whole body. He notices I have cancer, but I'm still like breathing and running and working, and like that's cool. Like you can move around, you can go to work tomorrow, but I got fucking cancer, and you don't fucking mention to me, you'd be fucking pissed. And some of these units got cancer, and you throw a fucking, throw a run cap in there, and this thing's just gonna fucking fall apart anyways. Or you go pour 5 pounds of refrigerant in, knowing it's gonna have to need more refrigerant. It's kind of fucked up. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, no, and it's the truth. And it's funny, there's a lot of people that, you know, it's not even just the age. I can't tell you probably in the last 3 weeks how many guys have went out to customers. The system's 5 years old. It's not even some crazy repair, and the people are like, they're like, "Oh, well, we can get it up and running. It's not that old." And the guy's like, "I bought this house and I never liked that fucking system, man." He's like, "To be honest, like, can I get some options on a new one?" So should we not, you know what I mean? He asked us for it, you know?
I remember this call. It was in Palm Springs, and I was out there, and super nice dude. Him and his boyfriend or whatever were there, and that Palm Springs that's whatever. So I get out in the backyard, and he's got a 1-year-old, 2 1-year-old systems. I think there were two Goodman 14 SEER basic units, right where he fucking throws his parties. That's what he's like. I have people over. It's a beautiful house, right? We entertain here all the time. You go out there, and it's going. "Ah." I'm like, he's like, that bug you? Like every time he's like, yeah, dude, every time we have people over, we have to turn the AC off and then we're sweating. It's 100 degrees outside. I'm like, well, you want one that sounds like it's like the sound of a refrigerator, like you don't even hear it run. He's like, dude, if you could do that, I want 2 new ones tomorrow. Right? Like, dude, the problem was the guy that a year ago didn't ask him or give a shit that he all he did was sell him what he knows how to sell, which is the basic shit. Didn't offer this guy. He would have bought those units last year, right? And he would have bought the nicer ones. But I'm the asshole because I sold him a new unit on a 1-year-old unit, or I'm an asshole because I recommend a quiet, efficient unit and you offered a fucking basic, and I'm the asshole for being more expensive than you. It doesn't make sense.
No, and it's like you said, nobody's going to buy something you don't offer. And, one thing I've learned from you and some other people is I want to educate and give the customer all of the options. They're going to tell me if they don't want the most expensive thing, okay, then don't buy it. I'm not trying to beat them up and take their checkbook, but I want them, we're the experts. I want them to know what is available in this industry for them to purchase, and then they tell me what they want and I answer the questions they have.
Yeah, I mean that's our job is to educate people. No one will buy anything they don't know about, right? Like, and for us, like even when we're selling, most guys go in there and they think customers want the cheapest thing. And really, it's funny because if the customer really wanted the cheapest thing, wouldn't the biggest guy in the market be the cheapest guy? No, and that's not how the reality works. People pay
Yeah.
more money because they want a lot of other things that go into what they want. Like, dude, did you show up presentable? Like, I don't want some fucking guy that looks like shit and smell like shit in my house. I don't want it. Did you show up in a freaking rape van, or do you show up in a wrapped van with a uniform on? I would choose that one. I would pay double the price to go with the one that's in a uniform, has got license and insurance, and their call center actually answer the fucking phone. Like, these things all matter to consumers. And I actually just got off a phone call with a guy in Delaware. he's a technician, and we just bought a shop up there, and he says he wants to come over as a sales guy. And I'm going through the conversation with him, and I'm like, okay, tell me, your process. I'm like, hey, like if I showed you a process where you can make like double the amount of money, but like not have to do much more work. He's like, well, what is it? I'm like, well, I tell him the process, and we have our picture books. We show him before. I don't do picture books, bro. And I'm like, okay, well, what about like we're presenting like higher end? Oh, I don't do that. That's upselling. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then the guy tells me he doesn't want to work past 5 o'clock. And I just hung up on him. I'm not even a fucking conversation with you. My partner's like, did you hang up? I was like, I'm not fucking spending my money and time with this dude. Like, he's not even open to even changing a little bit to make double the amount of money.
Yeah, and it is crazy because the picture book is awesome, which we learned from you. But also when you're doing sales, those prime hours are nighttime when both people are home. You know what I mean? Like that's when people are really going to take the time to make decisions, not the one-leggers when, people
Yeah.
not saying they won't spend money, but they're a little hesitant because they're not both there.
Yeah. And like I said, I obviously you've been a tech. I've been a tech. I've been a sales rep. Like, you're not gonna fucking tell me like I'm gonna be off by 5, bro. Like, I'm just sorry. Like, you can go work a commercial job and that's fine. You'll make, 30, 40, $50 an hour, $60 an hour. My guys, I have technicians making 500,000, 600,000 a year. Right? But at the end of the day, they only work 5 days a week, but they work wherever we work, right? But those guys are buying, like, one of my guys just bought a fucking mansion in Arizona. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? Right? But it's because they put in the work when they're there. They follow the process. And, obviously they're not scared to make recommendations. And I think that's people just misconstrue it like you don't have to rob and steal. But if someone needs an AC, they're going to buy it from fucking me. That's how I look at it. Like, they're going to buy one anyways. Why wouldn't they want to buy it from me? And whatever we got to do to make that happen.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. I mean, so how have you been seeing? So to go back to my original thing, like the processes that are tried and true, have you seen any hiccups in any different areas or anything like that, or has it been smooth, or what have been some of the hiccups that you've seen?
I mean, high level customer service doesn't change between what market you're in. People want great service. They want a job done the right way. They want a technician that educates them. So we haven't seen any pushback. Now, obviously, when we first partnered with a company and maybe a guy's been doing it a long time, the biggest pushback is from the technician not wanting to change or do anything. And we just show them the door. We'll make a phone call to a friend down the street. Hey, you want a technician? You can hire him. I'll go get him a job. You can make the same money you're making now. Go over there. I don't need you, dude. Like, and I always like I would rather have 10 badass dudes than 100 fucking guppies. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need it. And if they're not going to follow the process, you just don't work for me. And that's fine. Not everybody wants to work and do what we do. But I tell my guys, like, we're almost like a cult. Like, we're a money making fucking cult. Because if you come here, you make more money than you can work anywhere else in the country. I don't give a fuck who you work for. You will make more money working for me. And you're gonna feel good about it. You're gonna do the right things. You're gonna have the best benefits and all these things. So we do the biggest pushback isn't never from the consumer. Ever is it from the consumer because everybody wants to be treated good. They want to have high level service. They want to be educated. They do. And you'll have those one-offs where the customer's like, well, just fucking get to the point. Okay, perfect. I'm going to get to the point, but let me explain how I got to this point. Like, I'm still going to have those conversations and people want to be communicated with the right way. Dude, you're walking into someone's castle, dude. Like, this is their home. I tell my guys, you guys are, if you're, the house is their human body and you're cancer and they want you the fuck out of there unless you give them a goddamn good reason why they want to like you. Like, you have to create it. You have to create a reason why they want to hang out with you. Half my guys are sometimes sitting down having a cup of coffee with the customers and we don't rush them through the calls. Take your time, make a friend, all these things. But like, it's just no. Simple answer is no. There's no pushback on the consumer side. It's always from the technician side. Definitely on the East Coast. The farther we get east, the less they want to follow the process. I found it's like there's just old school way of thinking, I guess. But yeah, so we usually, like I said, if that's the case, we can't find guys. We'll create our own technicians. We got a 40,000 square foot training facility in Columbus. We can come there. We have a full technical training school. You can come there knowing nothing. I'll teach you how to do HVAC in fucking 8 to 10 weeks. And so it's just one of those things. If we can't find them, we'll make them.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Sorry, us East Coast guys. Some of us can learn. Okay, Vic. Some of us can learn. But well, you're technically. I know you've been out west for a long time, but you're technically an East Coast. Well, yeah. I mean, that's because Cleveland's considered East Coast.
I'm East Coast, but yeah, I mean, I grew up in Cali. I lived in Ohio for a little bit, so I got to experience a little bit different environment. But I mean, keep in mind, I'm looking. I want a company in Ohio so freaking bad. Like I wanted, like that's my second home. That's where my family's from. So, if you're listening to this, you got a business in Ohio and you want to make a bunch of money, please give me a damn call because I've been trying to get in the Ohio market like bad.
There you go. That makes what sense about the text, because I mean, I've even known it with things that I've done, like just now with a different opportunity and putting things in place and getting the pushback. And even the guys I partnered up with now, like we ended up losing a couple of people. They were shit. I mean, they you know what I mean. I just I saw they were lazy. They weren't doing stuff. I mean, it's like this is just obvious. Go ahead and have a good day. And probably wasn't even too the strenuous as like your stuff is, even though obviously a lot of my stuff is very very similar from where I learned it. But I will say this: the other thing I want to point out too is like you're not in like big cities. People are like, oh, LA. It's easy to do things in LA. Like you're in a bunch of different markets, so that kind of kills that whole theory as well.
Well, I would guarantee that most of the techs listening to this, if they work in residential, they came to LA, they get chewed up and spit out. If it's sunny and 75, fucking 90% of the year, you gotta know how to like you have to know how to sell it in and like where I grew up, my business was at in Orange County, it's sunny and 75, fucking 10 months out of the year. Right. Like, so you got to know how to sell on a need, not a want, or a want, not a need. Right. We got to get them to want a new air conditioner rather than need one. Where if you're in like freaking Houston and it's 115 and humid, like you need an air conditioner. So, people say that, but I would challenge you the opposite. It's far more difficult to sell. And I've gone and done ride-alongs with my guys in different markets. Some of these markets I go into, like it's so fucking easy. Like I'm like, dude, like because there's nobody that does anything. Like they don't provide high-level service, and you go in there, you educate and communicate. Dude, I went to one of our shops down in Houston, and it was like I ran 3 calls. I sold $96,000 on 3 calls, and my guys on tune-ups are like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "These customers are just waiting to actually be treated well." Period. Like they really are. They come in, they're like, man, I never had a technician show me that before. I never had this done before. I never had anybody so nice. I never had anybody show up on time or like all these things are like they're begging for service and we're acting like they don't want it.
Yeah, no, that's true. When you say about, I mean, and obviously, I don't, I've never done service in LA. I don't know, but it is true what you just said. How that makes so much sense when people say that. But that's yeah, it is. 75 and sunny. It's not because it's a luxury. They don't
And
necessarily
zero,
have to have it.
zero humidity all year round and freaking sunny and 75. Like, dude, shit, where I grew up, I had a fucking floor heater. That's all we had there. We didn't really have AC in the summer because it just wasn't that hot by the beach.
Yeah, no, that's
But
crazy. I know one thing, man. I do believe in the good looking people, man. Seeing girls out there when we came to visit you, walking down, and I'm like, man, these girls that are like,
what?
sixes here, tens back in Maryland, like son of a bitch.
Yeah, and that's what we call the sixes Cleveland tens and Ohio tens. That's why I used to say that you're an Ohio 10, but you're a fucking five here. But yeah, Gil left there with a neck roll on because it was going fucking. He kept turning his head everywhere he was going. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, man, it was definitely it was a good time. Um, so yeah, that's crazy. So your school that you were doing before, like that's still teaching the same training. Is that just for your people, or is like that still people can like come there and do that kind of stuff?
We still allow people to come in into our sales training technical school. It's open year round. I think we have 36 classes a year from different. It's from everything from obviously troubleshooting, refrigeration, understanding installation department, airflow classes. So you can pretty much sign up for any of our classes. Send a technician there, go there. I remember when I was a tech, I went to the Ultimate Tech Academy or
Mhm.
Ultimate Tech Institute in Arkansas.
Yeah.
It's it's more modern. It's a huge facility. It's like I mean it's almost like a playground for an HVAC technician. Like it's badass, and you'll have to come check it out. We have events there pretty often. We have some business events and sales training classes. But yeah, if you haven't been there, like if people go there, like, dude, this is just training. I'm like, that's all we do here.
Oh yeah, no, I'd love it. I'd go there and get a boner. That stuff looks cool to me.
Well, we're working right now to do like where my partner out there, he's looking to buy a hotel to where you can come and you pay for a tech to come out for a month and they just get a complete crash course on how to run a service, how to be a service technician and or whatever it is, and the entire day's class and they're fed and everything's taken care of. So I could turn a technician. You give me 8 hours a day with a technician for a month, I'm going to send you back one of the best technicians you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And you said, Dan, you're up to 12 now. So you're not affiliated with Absolute like anymore at all, like, or is that still under your bubble?
No, no, absolutely. I sold that in 2023. It's been almost 3 years. I'm not involved in it. When I sold it, I got out 100% out of it. It's actually been sold 3 times since. Ever since I left, like the next guy just decimated it. The next guy came in and couldn't turn it around. And now we're, I think, Tom Howard just bought it. So I think Tom, like I said, I'm hoping Tom can turn it around and get it back to its former glory and get the business going again. But yeah, right now it's pretty rough shape, which sucks to see.
Yeah. So I guess before I get into the next topic, I guess I'm just curious, like, how was it? You know, like, cause that was your baby. You know what I mean? Like you built that up. I mean, blood, sweat, and tears. Like, how was that feeling of selling it? Was there like, I did the right thing, like second guessing yourself? Like, how was that process?
You know what, and I was at that point in in that business. So like I didn't know anything about how to run a business when I started that business, right? And I grew it extremely fast, and I went through every ups and downs. And I tell everybody I paid for an education and had to learn. And it was getting exhausting and tiring and wearing down on me. But obviously when we did sell it, it's part of my identity, right? It's not anymore. Most people don't even remember I even had it. I had to talk to them. They don't even think about that anymore. It's been a while. But it was hard. Obviously the first and foremost is the employees, right? Those you're there every day. And I was involved. I ran the sales trainings. I was in there in the meetings. I was the guy getting the guys motivated, and I was real involved in the business. So it was definitely hard to go from that to like, hey, you're locked out of the fucking building and you can't come here no more, which was probably the worst decision they made. Because I still could have stayed involved and done some training or whatever, because I still wanted to see the business succeed. So it was difficult. I went through like a depression and stuff like that for a while. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. Like, I like the sales training, but dude, honestly, the one thing I don't like doing is selling people on sales training. I'd rather do it for fucking free. Like, I don't like, even like our training program, half the time I give it away for free. I do sales training classes. I'm like, dude, just come out and hang out with us. Like, I'll teach you. I like to be an educator. I don't like to make money off educating. I just really don't. It doesn't get me excited. I'm not Andy Elliott, where I want my whole life to be I want to be a sales trainer, right? Like, I enjoy helping technicians and helping people make more money than they've ever made. And so we try to keep our classes super, like, now it's like, it's not even like, I don't even care about the money. I'm like, I got to pay for my flights or wherever I'm going to do that shit. But like, otherwise I'm like, dude, I try to do it as cheap as I can so I can try to help as many people as I can see that there's another side to this. Like, you could make money without being shady and doing things like that. So I did do some sales training, did some stuff like that, but it was definitely depressing for sure. I almost bought it back in February of 2024, maybe 2025, maybe last year. I don't know. I almost bought it back. He was selling it for pennies on the dollar, and Michelle, my wife, was like, "If you buy that business back, I'm fucking done with your ass." Like, because she knows how much sweat and tears and everything I put into it, and how stressful it is. That it's hard to run a business in Southern California. Everybody that's come in and tried to do it afterwards, they got their ass kicked, because you can't. That market is so far. I'm in 13 different markets now. None of them even fucking compare to how hard it was in California. Just the gas, the fucking traffic, the fucking people, the weather, like everything you can think of, you're fighting against. And the cost of doing business is astronomical. Like, for a basic air conditioner, I have to charge almost 30 G's to make any money these days in that market, because of the permitting and all the other shit that goes into it. And it's insane. So yeah, I missed it. I still miss my people. A lot of them actually have moved to other states to come work for me because they miss me too. But yeah, I definitely miss it. It was my baby, but I don't look at it as even like it. Wouldn't even put that in my top 5 things I've done in business at this point. Probably not even the top 10.
Yeah, no. That's awesome. And I was just curious because it wasn't like it was a mom pop shop. It was a big company. So I was just curious how that went. And it's funny you said that people, like, I've known you for a while, so I know that. But it's funny, I remember seeing people in supply houses, and like I talk about you, and like in the beginning it was like, oh, the guy from Absolute, and then it was, um uh Jesus, I forget the one that when you were just doing the training. It was the
or
Yeah,
or Profit
exactly. It's a
Rocket.
service hero. And then I just talked to somebody in RE Michaels the other day, and he was like, "Oh, who's going to be on the show?" And I was like, "Oh, Victor Rancour." And he was like, "Oh, the Rocket guy." I was like, "Yeah, the Rocket Group." I'm like, "Yeah." So it's just funny seeing how people identify how they know you based on the different stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, what I'm doing now is it's the big. I mean, I can't believe, Gil, that like I built what I built. Like, dude, I've been, 11 years ago, I answered a Craigslist had to be an HVAC tech, dude. Like, so, like now, I think I'm more nostalgic now about all of it, and like really thinking about like where I came from and all this shit, and like to see what I'm building now. Like, I don't. I think we do 100 and 120 to 130, 140 million this year. And it's like, dude, it's crazy. And it's like, but now, like, I feel like I was never ready for the success that I have now before. Like, I've slowed down. I'm just like, I'd lived like a whole different life than I did before. So like now it's definitely weird, but all like, if you're a technician watching this, like you can be, I didn't know anything. I answered a Craigslist ad, bro. Like, and I turned that into what we've been able to turn it into in 11 years is really crazy to me.
Yeah, and that's what I always give to you, Victor. And and the social media stuff, and that people, say stuff, and there's always this bickering, but I nobody gets to where you are by accident. That's
No.
the fact of the matter, and you have to work hard to be able to do that, and then to do it multiple times. So people may not like maybe some of the things you did, you do, you say. That's fine. Maybe they don't have to like you or me as a person, but the facts are the facts. And the body of work is the body of work. You know what I mean? Like that's where sometimes I want people to say
And
when
dude,
they say stuff like it is what it
I
is.
oh I think I don't even like me from fucking 2, 3 years ago, dude. Like I was cocky, arrogant. Like they used to, I was like the wolf of HVAC. I was a wild card, dude. And I think now, like, I run into people now and they're like, dude, like you're like a whole different person. I'm like, bro, like I just don't give a fuck about anything besides for my people, my employees, my family, and just be successful. Like the only thing that wakes me up every day is obviously being provided for my kids. And then, dude, like I told my business partners that I partner with, I'm gonna make you guys multi millionaires, and that's what wakes me up every day. And like, and if it has anything to do with being my family or making my partner successful, I give a fuck about it. Everything else, I don't care about social media. You don't see me at events. You don't like if it's not my event, I'm not hosting it. You ain't gonna see me there. I don't care about you. I want you to be successful. I want everybody to win. Like even me and Ishmael are friends now. I'm partnered in Nuvei and stuff with him. And I'm like, dude, I don't care. I want everybody to win, but I got to stay in my lane. And that's how I look at it now. Where before it was like I was trying to do so many different things, and people would hate me because if I went to their industry, they were gonna fucking throw darts at me because they don't want to compete with me. When I started a marketing company and all these different things that I was doing, the reason people talk shit is because they realized I was gonna come take their food. And so I don't know. I just think it's if you come hang out with me now, and almost everybody I had issues with, I've made amends with, and apologize for being a dick because I used, I just didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, but I mean, it is what it is, and that's cool that you apologize and made amends. But who's to say you would be where you are now and be in the position you're in now without those things happening? So it is what it is, man. We've all done those same things. We just didn't have the spotlight that we had on us that you had. And I used to say that
No,
I'm like, the dude's got a spotlight on him. If he fucking blows his nose wrong, everybody's got a fucking comment about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, all that fame and that success is good, but then you also had to hear the ruckus. Who am I? I don't have that. Like, yeah, I have a podcast, but I didn't have that kind of light on me. I'm like, I don't know. You know what I mean? So touche to you, man. I'm glad to see where you're at now. I'm glad to see that, you and Michelle are married and stuff like that, and business is good, man. So fuck the bullshit. You got to have haters along the way.
I think it's funny. Sometimes I hear the stories. I'm like, dude, that sounds pretty badass. I mean, I never did it, but that sounded like it'd be pretty fun. Like some of the, I'm like, yeah, I did that shit. I never did,
That's
but
funny.
whatever. Yeah, it's like I said, it's everybody grows up a little bit. And I needed to grow up, and that's where I'm at. And like I said, if you come around me, like I only care about is yours. I want you to succeed. If you come hang out with me, you trust me. If you bought a ticket to my event, like before, it's like you buy a ticket to my event, you barely even see me. Like now, like I want to pour into you. Like you invested in me, you trusted me. Like I want you to leave here ready to go make more money.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And like I said, man, I've told you this with no cameras on. I've learned a lot from you, man. I really have, and not just like little tidbits that like I pull up in a conversation. When I'm talking to people, I mean things that I actually implement and use every day. And I can say that 100%. And I mean that there's things that I do that I'm like, oh, I learned that from you or one of your classes, or doing the Service Hero Academy and watching all those videos. I went through every fucking video you had on there.
Yeah, it's crazy. Even like the Service Hero thing, man, it's crazy. It's been so long now, man. It's all of it's like I said. I'm grateful every time I run into technicians and I'll be places and they're like, dude, like you changed my life. Watching your videos or watching this, like it literally changed how much like I changed my family's life, and like that's the kind of shit that it makes it worth it, right? Like. And I think that's kind of still what motivates me. And that's why I still like, dude, I don't need to do these classes, bro. Like you think me making 20 fucking 30 grand at a class, like it's really going to change my life? No, I don't give a fuck. Like I can go do anything else and make money. Right. But it's like, I choose to do it because I still like, I feel like that's still my part giving back to the industry and doing it. And like I said, that's why I make it cheap. I'm like, dude, if you can't afford $400, like, dude, like, come on, bro. I'm going to feed you the whole time you're there too. Like I don't make no money on this shit.
And you gotta have a good night, man. Appreciate you, brother. Well, yeah, and it's like anything. People that bitch about these costs, like you have to invest in yourself. It's like anything. If you're not investing in yourself, then you can't expect to get better at something. So I don't even worry about those things. But I know we're getting up, at an hour almost past. So I want to make sure that I do cover
Oh,
this, man.
forgot.
Yeah, guys, if you are out there, you're running a business and you need to go. This is Victor's newest book, Brick by Brick, that we'll get into. And thank you. Obviously, he sent me a copy that I am delving into, rocking the hat. How was this process?
Dude, like if you would have told me ever in my life that I would write a book deal, I would have called you fucking psycho, right? Like there's no way I thought I'd write a book. We never set out to write a book. Like that was never the goal. The number one thing contractors ask me is what vendors you use, what marketing you do, how do you like all these things. That's one of my number one things I get, which realistically the marketing doesn't matter if you don't answer the phone and do things the right way. Like you can spend all the money in the world you want to market, you're never gonna succeed, right? But you do gotta get your phones to ring. And one of the things that I feel like is probably my superpower is making the phones ring. Like that's why my companies we grow during the winter. We're busy. Like if you see our companies grow all year round. Like we don't have slow season. And the reason that is, I mean, I've spent millions upon millions upon millions of dollars marketing home service companies. So I've been involved in I think I've been involved equity in over 22 different AC companies that have grown exponentially in markets, right? And I've spent all the money. I know the good, the bad, the ugly, but I also know how to operate from being broke. Like I started my business with 10 G's and we grew it to $1 million in the first 4 months. I didn't have money for marketing, but I figured out how to ways to get customers. So anyway, originally me and my brother were like, okay, let's build this pamphlet about all the different types of marketing and the time when you should use them in your business, right? And how we use them. And we made this pamphlet and I was getting ready to send it. Like I offered it as a free thing I was going to send out. I'm like, no, dude, like you can't just send this out because then they're just gonna start buying this random shit and they don't need it yet. So I said, how do we turn it into a book to really understand the timing in the business, when you should do it, how you should do it, how I used it, or how I used it and it didn't work. And then when I tried and when I fixed how I was doing it and it did work. And we really wanted to tell a story and give a roadmap for a contractor, whether he's a startup like I was that didn't know where to go, who to use, or anything, and or $100 million company that's trying to learn how to win in today's market. And like I said, even now I'm operating like I don't operate the same way as I did 5 years ago, and you shouldn't operate the way you did 2 years ago. Things change and evolve, right? And so when I was writing this book, I really wanted to go into the fundamentals of marketing. How do I get customers for free? Like how do I do guerrilla marketing when I got no money? What should I invest in first? What should I do here? Or hey, when I get this big, what's the next lever that I could pull? And then we started writing the book, and a lot of it, some stories behind it. I talk about when I used it or how I failed on it and all these different things. And it turned into a book, and it's about over a year in the making. And it's still hard because like I'm learning. The hardest part about writing a book when you're doing it is that you continuously, while you're doing, you're learning more shit. So you want to
Yeah.
keep adding to that worked or whatever. So we did have to cut it off at some point. But if you own a home service business, this book will give you a roadmap of things you can do to dominate your market. One of the top things we talk about is branding. I don't know who that company is you're working for, Carroll Mechanical, right? I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Like I look at their brand, one of the first things that I would change, like immediately, how do you market that company? And I don't want to talk crap, but like the first thing we do into these companies, we just got that company in Delaware. It's called True Blue Mechanical. That was a boom, fucking day one. You get rid of mechanical. Let's do a rebrand on the vans. Let's make this thing look good. And so the book starts with branding, because if your branding's fucked up, you can't market. And then everything in between and all the things you got to put in place.
Yeah, no, I mean, I said that when we were off air, so trust me, I get it. But and like I told you, I won't sit here and act like I've read the book cover to cover. I haven't, but I have read different little pieces of it. And one thing that I love about it is it's kind of hard, but it's an easy read. You know what I mean? Like it's easy to follow because like I've dealt with a lot of these things now that I've been running businesses for several years now, and it's just like it sucks me in because it's like, oh, I've seen this problem, you know, like I know what that means, and then it makes me want to go in and read. So it really is a good read. Once again, I've only read bits and pieces, but like I told Vic, I want to go like cover to cover and read it.
If you, like I said, if you own a home service business, you're a technician, an installer about to start a business, and you want to do it, and you're trying to figure out where to go. Like, yeah, I made it really easy to read. It's like when you read through it, it's like fuck you. We're looking for the next page, right? And I try to give all the little stories behind all the things that I've done, and like I said, I hope happy people enjoy it. We sold thousands of copies already in the first month or month and a half or whatever it's been, and I think, like, obviously we're about to be on Amazon pretty soon. You can get it at our website right now at callprofitrocket.com. You can buy it on our website. We're hoping to be on Amazon pretty soon. Like I said, I never set out to write a book, and next thing I wrote a book, and I'm like, oh shit, how do you get it on Amazon? How do you, like, everything in my life has always been, I will fucking build the airplane while I'm flying, right? Like, and the same thing with writing a book. I'm like, oh fuck, I got to figure out all this shit. So it should be on Amazon soon. We got an audio book that's going to come out for the guys that can't read. Probably, a lot of some of the guys in here probably can't read. I'm not the world's best reader, for sure, but if you can't read, we're gonna hook you up with the audio book. But yeah, man, thank you for promoting it, man. Like I said, I hope this podcast was good. I don't know how I come off sometimes. I try to be as real as I fucking can. And like I said, I hope someone listening to this, like, you can reach out to me. If you're a technician, you want to know how to make some more money, or if you're a business owner, you're struggling to make money, or whatever it is, dude. Like, I think I'm probably the only person that responds to everybody. I respond to everybody. I get back to you right away. You can text me 9 o'clock at night. If you want to get on a phone, I got on a phone call yesterday with a guy, $20 million shop, and I spent an hour with him. He just followed me on Facebook. I never talked to him before. He asked for my number. He spent an hour. We went through, and he's like, dude, you just gave me 20 different things I'm going to go implement in my business, like, immediately. Right. And so, like, dude, I'll spend the time. I try to help out. If you want to come out to one of our events, we do smaller masterminds. I got one in September 3rd and 4th in Columbus. Dude, come to those things. Like, come hang out with the other operators. Like, if you're struggling, man, like, everybody there pours into you. You get to work with my entire team. We'll open up our books. We'll show you everything we do when you come out to hang out with us. So, anyways,
Yeah, no,
I hope
that's
this.
awesome. No, it's been awesome, man. It really has been good. I'm so happy to have you back on, and just so anybody watching the video, or if you're listening to the audio when this comes out, if you go into the show notes, I left the link to his website to be able to get this book. So I made it easy for you. You don't got to search, just scroll down, click it, and I even got it directly to the page to buy the book. So you don't have to click anything but buy. So I made it easy for you.
I wish I can give everybody the damn books for free, dude. Shit, like, everything is so fucking expensive these days. I didn't realize how much it cost to print and ship a book. I'm like, dude, what the fuck, bro? Like, it's crazy, man. Like, I don't know how a lot of these small mom and pop shops are fucking making it right now, dude. Like, that's one thing I'll tell you right now. If you got this mom and pop shop, like, dude, like, I don't envy you right now. It is so difficult to do business. It's just crazy. The cost of everything. We're looking at new vans. It's like freaking 70, 80 grand for a van. And then the gas now is insane. And then the equipment, I don't know what's going on with this 25% tariff increase that's coming, but it sounds like a scam to me. But that's how I participate. But man, like, if you guys got a small shop out there, more power to you. Keep grinding every day. Just you gotta pivot. You gotta start thinking different, because, dude, that private equity, all the people that are coming into your markets, it's gonna keep getting harder and harder until you make some kind of shift.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because that's what I did want to finish off. I know we talked about it off air about how people say the mom and pop shop, like, you have to set yourself apart to be different because the wolves are out and they're eating. You know what I mean? So you have to differentiate yourself or you're gonna fall behind.
Yeah, I mean, it's just inevitable, right? So private equity is getting smarter. The technology is getting better. Also, they're playing a game where they can buy the same equipment as you for half the price because of so much volume. So now they can come in there when it's slow season, they can just undercut everybody, take all your markets. So you starve out all off season. Now you got nobody was working for you. You got no installers, and then summer comes, they can eat the rest, right? And we've even seen it like, and like I said, I don't envy hurting someone else's business. Like that's never like I don't think that way anymore. Before I was like, I want everybody, fuck them all, right? Like I don't want nobody to fail, but like if I come into your market, I'm going to take a lot of your food. It's just part of what we do. And it's like if you don't change and do the things that need to be done, and you're going to kind of get left behind. And the way that people have been operating forever, it doesn't work anymore. And like you think, oh, I'm a mom and pop shop, people are going to go with me, or they want the lowest price, or I don't offer financing because that's ripping people off. But you're not understanding the consumer wants financing, and you're not offering it because how you feel. Or hey, whatever it might be, like you don't want to make these changes because that's how you've always done it. And that's the one thing I will not partner with is like we've always done it this way. This is how we do it. I won't partner unless you're willing to change. If someone comes to me, I feel like I'm decently successful, right? Someone comes to me with a better idea, I implement it fucking like that. Dude, I don't care where it came from. The janitor in my building could say, this could be better if you did this. And I'm like, yeah, that does sound like better. Some of you guys will hear good information and think that'd be better, and then you don't do any of it. And I think that's the difference between successful and unsuccessful is how fast you can take action on stuff that is evolving or getting better. And like I said, that's if you're not in a mom and pop shop, you need to start thinking about that, because with AI and everything else, if you don't get to 15 million pretty quickly, you're gonna get fucking wiped out.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. We're almost ending him, but I will let me ask this question. So Sam Andrew asked, what was Victor doing before he answered that Craigslist ad?
I was doing general constructions. I was pretty much a day laborer. I was making $150 an hour, $150 a day under the table. I was living in a room in a house with a brand new baby. So my daughter was 5 months old. We were living in a room in a house, and I was doing construction. And really, I thought I was going to become a general contractor. That's really where I saw my projection going. And like I said, I saw the Craigslist ad. It said, well, we can make it like at least 60,000 a year. We're going to give you a work truck and benefits. I heard the word benefits, and I'm a fucking under the table worker, and I got a 5 month old baby. So that's really what pushed me there. And I also saw what happens to contractors. They just, their bodies get beat up and they die out, and then they got nothing to show it. The guy I was working for, he was getting like 55 years old. His knees are blown out. He could barely move around, and he was angry as shit all the time. And he wasn't making the money that you think he would make. So, but yeah, that's how I got into it. And I really think that a lot of the stuff that I learned, Gil, if I really tie it back to like what really helped me be successful, was when I was living in Cleveland doing oil changes in I think 2012, 2013. I was doing oil changes for like 675 an hour. And that's where I really cut my teeth on how to educate and merchandise, right? Like I remember I was the guy in the oil pit, and I was getting oil splattered in my face, right? All day long. And I'll tie this into being a technician that doesn't know how to sell. Okay. Technician doesn't know how to sell. He's got to do all the grunt shitty work all day long. That was me. I'm the grunt work down there. And I would listen, and the guys up top were the ones that knew how to merchandise. Well, they didn't get dirty. Their hands, like they made more money. They weren't dirty. So I just sat there and listened to them. I'm like, well, I can do better than that, right? So then I decided I'm going to learn how to sell stuff. And I got up there, and I was successful at it, and I just learned the merchandise. And then I kind of tied it into when I started this HVAC job. I didn't know what HVAC stood for. And I literally got to the interview. I got hired day one. They're trying to teach me what HVAC stands for. I'm still confused. And then they showed me the pay plan. I'm like, you're going to pay me that much to offer a fucking air scrubber? I don't know what an air scrubber is, but everybody's getting a fucking air scrubber. Okay. And I was stealing cup of noodles out of the break room. Like, swear to God, like I was broke as shit. And I remember driving, and I was driving a 92 Honda Accord, and the window wouldn't roll up all the way. The fucking machine had broken. So I had to like hold it up, and it was raining, and the water was coming through while I'm driving to work. And so like I was broke as shit. And I said, I don't care what I have to do. I'm going to learn whatever they tell me to learn. They tell me how to I'm going to make more money. I'm going to do that. And like I said, I just fell in love with it. But yeah, before I got into this, I was in construction and obviously doing oil changes before that.
Yeah. And just to tie back in, I know about the technician side that one of the things I love is if we just get away from the business side, is all of the training that you do provide your technicians. That's what sets them apart because they're constantly training and you're giving them some of the best training that they can get. And it's technical training, not just sales training, it's
No.
technical training as well to put them both together. And that's what I feel like some people they miss that part.
I think people like once you understand the technical side. So like I always tell my guys, I want you to be good enough technically that you can diagnose a unit almost right when you walk in the house. So then you don't have to worry that anymore. You already know what's going on there. Now we can communicate, right? So you become good at technical. You get that dialed in. Dude, I walk into a house within fucking 10 minutes. Most of us know what's going on with it, right? So now I already know that. I don't have to make phone calls and try to figure out and I look like an idiot. So I already know I'm going to be able to fix it. I mean, there's fucking 5 parts on an air conditioner, bro. I can fix any of that shit. Like there's only pretty much 5 parts. So like, why am I worried about the outside? Let's go look at the inside because I already know what's going on out there. So like I said, you got to understand the technical side. Then obviously the sales side comes with it. And we're just really good about, like I said, I want to create, my one company in Arizona, we're going to do 24 million this year. We have 10 technicians at $24 million. Okay. But my technicians are the best guys in the fucking country. Like they are the best. They're the best. They're really great technical and they communicate better than anybody else. And we train 5 days a week, like consistently, always on something. There's something we can learn. They get annoyed a little bit. But when I start seeing, like I said, I got technicians that are going to make $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 this year. And that's not a fucking fluff that I can show you the damn paychecks. And I get off the phone. That's one of the first things I tell guys. I said, look, obviously come work for me. I want you to come work for me, but I'll tell you no matter what, that's going to be the best decision you ever made because no one's going to invest in you the way that I invest in you. If you believe in me, you say, I'm going to follow you. I'm going to invest every single day in you. You're going to leave here. If you ever leave our business, which most people don't leave, if you ever left here, they will be a line around the fucking corner for people that want to hire you. And you're going to make more, you're going to make money no matter what. Now I'm going to give you a reason to never leave me because I'm going to treat you good and do all these things. But I'm going to train you so good that anybody in this country, you walk in the door, you say you worked for Victor, they'll fucking hire you in a second.
Yeah. And that's, and like you said, it's getting people, it's training them, people that never want to leave. So you have employee retention, and then you can take young guys who don't know anything and then make them into techs. And that's how it's got to be. Because the whole day of, man, I can't find good people, that's a bullshit excuse. You cannot use it anymore. Those days are over. And if that's how you think, good luck to you in running an HVAC business.
Dude, people tell me like when I first got in that Arizona business, like I was like, how am I going to get talent? There's like nobody here, and everybody's like they want to be off by 4 o'clock, and they shut down on the weekends. And like it's a small town USA, right? And people are like, you're not gonna be able to recruit there. You're not gonna be able to get employees. I said, no, you couldn't get employees here. Dude, I've started moving motherfuckers in from everywhere. I went and rented a house. I rented a house, a 3-4 bedroom house, and said, hey, you come work for me. I'll fly you in here. I'll pay for your travel. I'll give you free housing for the first 6 months. I'll give you a place to live. All of a sudden I got them to work, they'll move in there. They fell in love with the company. They've all bought houses in the market. But it's like, dude, you can complain and bitch about it, or you can do something about it. And I don't care where you live. People always like money. And if you live in a small town, if you make a lot of money there, you're living like a freaking king. So some of these guys came from like California where they $1 million for a shack. Now they can come out here. They can buy a freaking big ass house for $1 million. They're making the same amount of money or more. I don't know. There's just always an excuse for everything. And I don't participate in excuses. If you don't like, if I go and tell you, hey, I talk to contractors that want to partner with me and I say one thing, I'm like, hey, we're going to do this. Well, that doesn't work in my market. Well, I'm not working with you. Fuck off. Like, I don't care.
It's funny because I was getting ready to say that, how people always say like, oh, that won't work in my market. The same problems exist in every market. You may think that they only happen to you, but that's not true. That's not the reality.
You can't charge that here. You can't do that here. That won't work here. No, it just won't work for you because you're a fucking, you won't even try it. You won't even give it an opportunity. That's like I said, I just hung up on a technician. Like I've never in my life, Gil, tried to sell somebody to come work for me. I just don't have to sell them. I'm like, Michelle's listening to me. She's like, dude, she's like, just fucking hang up on that guy. Like she was telling me, and she's like, what the fuck? I've never seen you even try this hard. But it was pissing me off because I was like, I want to close this guy. That's just nature, right? But I'm like, dude, by the time I got done, I ended up hanging up on him. I was like, dude, you will never work for me ever. You just don't want to change. You're not open to anything else. I told this guy, I'm like, I guarantee you make $500,000 next year working for me, running around the same amount of calls. He's like, that's not possible. I can't. I'm like, dude, fuck off, bro. I'm like, I felt like I actually told him, I said, look, that's like that kid and Willy Wonka got a golden ticket and Willy Wonka's going to give you the the chocolate factory. And you're like, nah, I don't want that shit. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you can't be small-minded, man. And I can say from my personal that I think that I wanted a lot of things, but I wanted to put in this much work and I wanted to get this much out of it. And that's me just being completely honest with myself.
Yeah.
And when I changed my mindset and I started putting in this much, I started getting this much out of it. That's why I always say, like, you're only going to get out of this trade what you put into it. And that's the fact.
Yeah. And like I said, or you just bitch and complain that someone else got better opportunities when they worked harder than you. Like Gil, I'm not special. You're not special. You just put the effort in. I put the effort in. And like I said, I put an annoying amount of effort in. Like, my wife's ready to kill me half the time, but like, that's just what it takes to be the best at anything, to be successful. Like, I want to be the best that's ever fucking done it. Like, I talk to my partners saying, I want to beat Apex. I want to build a bigger platform than Apex. And they think I'm fucking crazy. And I was like, why not me? Why not?
Yeah. No, for sure. But fuck, dude, I don't want to keep you any longer, man. I definitely got to
Oh,
come
you're
out to an
good.
event and see you soon, man. I know it's been a while, but I'm so happy you came on. I'm glad that I got this book, dude. I can't wait to try to take every nugget and learn to make myself better out of this, dude. And I'm glad to see that you're still killing it as always, just in a different avenue. And I thank you for what you do, brother. I really do. Like I said, I've learned a shit ton from you, Victor. I really have, and I know that I'll continue to learn from you, man.
Yeah, man, I respect everything you do. Like I said, when we got to hang out in Cali, man, you're actually one of the real ones. People, you go meet people, you see them online, and you're like, you don't know how they're gonna be. Like, you're a real one. But you've always been good to me. Thanks for having me on again. I hope the listeners got something out of this. Like, I really come on. I hope I give something out of it. But yeah, man, thanks for having me on. You got to come out September. I got a ticket, got a seat waiting for if you want to come to our event in September. It's in Columbus. Like I said, I keep it to about 100 people. But if you want to come out, we'll shoot a podcast. I got a studio there. I mean, you can shoot a podcast on my podcast.
Yeah, no, I'm down, dude. I'll definitely do that. It was hard to travel with me for a little bit with my mom being sick and my daughters, but I've been able to work it out. So I can definitely travel now. So I will definitely take you up on that for sure. A ticket to come out there and learn. I'm not gonna pass that up.
All right, brother. Well, you have a good rest of your night, man. Congrats on everything. I hope, hope I'll see you soon. And I hope, like I said, everybody listening to this, I hope you got something from it. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. Like I said, I'm a pretty open book on anything.
Yeah, of course, man. And I'll make sure everybody knows where to go get this book, dude. So thank you so much for spending time with me, buddy. I appreciate you.
Later, guys.
See ya. Oh man. Yeah, guys. So, like I said, and I know some of you, man, that you watch these things and people get certain opinions, man. And like I said, I have learned so much, so many things from Victor and his trainings that I've been able to use and put into business, and they've worked. That's the facts. Um, you can say what you want about whether you like him personally or things that he's done. And he knows there's some things that maybe I didn't agree with, and me and Victor have been able to have some real talks. And he's been open. I didn't live his lifestyle. I didn't go through what he went through. And I don't have to agree with everything, but I have learned a lot from him. And there's a lot of things that he teaches that 100% do work, that you can grow your business. So, um, yeah, that's it, man. So I do highly suggest anybody, if you're a manager, a business owner out there, the link is going to be in the description to go get this brick by brick. I think this is like $35, $39. Invest $39 in yourself. This thing is full of gold nuggets. I'm slowly going through it, and it, there's problems that I've faced as a business owner running a business, that I've been like, holy shit, and looking at this. So I do highly suggest this. Um, all you guys in the chat, I appreciate you guys, man. I know that this podcast probably wasn't your cup of tea. So I appreciate you guys hanging out and just listening to it. But I know that this episode is going to have a lot of value to all the audio listeners. So I appreciate you guys sitting through. And yeah, fucking Ryan, you cuss, bro. What? You other people can't say fuck? Come on, brother. I all right, man. I get your what you're trying to say. It was funny the first time you said it, my guy. But yeah, it's okay saying the F word. But anyway, man, thank you guys for sitting here checking this out, man. I really do appreciate you guys. You know, a lot of hopefully big things coming up for me in the show, trying to put some things together. I really do have a lot. There's so many pieces moving right now. It's hard. Things that I've been trying to put together for a long time, going through a lot of personal stuff, which all of you guys know that things are finally moving in the right direction. But now so many things are happening. I'm just trying to time it so I don't crash and burn. So things are coming. So just stay up to date. Keep hanging in there with me every Wednesday, and you'll start to see these things evolve. I promise you that. whether it's the podcast, personal life, business, whatever it may be. So a lot of things in the works, trying to get these things going. But yeah, with that being said, man, please make sure you always follow the podcast to stay up to date on everything that I have going on. Make sure that wherever you get your you download the audio podcast, try to leave a review, trying to get those reviews up. And once again, thank you to all you guys out there buying those fucking socks, man. The Campbell City Mill socks. I'm still just blown away by that. That link has been clicked like so many times. So thank you again to everybody that has been buying those socks. I really, really do appreciate it. Yeah, thank you to the new people, coming in. East Coast, what is up, man? Yeah, dude, this book is awesome, dude. This is a good read. It's small. So definitely check it out. It also comes with you can get some cards and stuff that are in there, so highly suggest that. But yeah, let me start to close this thing out, man. Guys, remember, be safe out there. Keep your head on a swivel. I don't care what it is that you're doing. I want each and every one of you to make it home the same way that you left, all right? Whether you're driving, putting up a ladder, make sure the breaker's turned off. Just please be careful, all right? Do the little things. Set yourself apart from the next guy or girl, all right? Keep trying to grow yourself. Keep trying to be the best version of you, which sometimes it's going to be reading books, listening to a podcast, an online course, a local course, whatever it may be. Just keep trying to grow and then give back to people in the trade. If you know more than somebody, give back to somebody else. Help them grow. I've always realized that when I help teach other people, it just makes me better at what I do. Keep evolving so we can build this trade from the ground up. All right. And I always say that as long as we keep doing the right things, all those people out there half-assed and stuff and the hacks and stuff like that, they're going to start to fall to the bottom. The spotlight's going to be on them, and people are going to realize that that's exactly what they are. And the sad part is some people are going to get the truth that they're not the good guy they think they are when they realize that what they're doing, it may be justified in their mind, but they're actually doing things wrong. So let's be the ones that keep building this trade up. And yeah, with that being said, man, just remember to care about other people, spread positivity. And with that being said, man, I'll see you mofos next week. All right. Have a good one.
Thanks for listening to the HVAC Uncensored Podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram, or email us anytime at hvacuncensored@gmail.com. Now, get back to work. Shut this down. The views and opinions shared on the HVAC Uncensored Podcast may not necessarily be the views and opinions of our sponsors or guests.
Hope everybody has a good night. Ryan, don't know what's going on with you, brother, but have a good night, brother.